So today we have part 2 of EOG review. We have which choice is equal to 462. First thing we're going to write on our paper is our place value chart to show our work. So we have ones, tens, hundreds here. I always do the wiggly line so it's never mistaken for 1. And we have to end up with 462. So I'm going to write what we're looking for at the top. And we actually fill these in. So we have 300, so I'm going to put 3 in the hundreds place. And then we have 16 tens. Well, this is a tens place, so I'm going to put 16. Well, we know two numbers can't hold one spot. So this one here is composed over here. So the 7 being a 3, now it's a 4 there, and 2 ones. And that's our answer. Okay? You can't just look. I tell them, don't just look and just write something because you see 462. That would not be correct. Okay? So our answer is A. And for instance, let me show you why C is not. Because we have some students that just work so quick. I want you to really focus, do your place value chart, put that work in. So here's a 4 in the hundreds place, and it's 62 tens. Again, two numbers can't hold one place, so this 6 will move up here, so it'll be 6 plus 4. And that will actually give you 10. You're going to be having 1,020 as your answer, okay? So that's how we work them. I always do the place value chart. As I tell the students in school, every student in 4th grade should get those correct. Now we have, it says a tree was 14 and 3/8 inches tall when it was first planted. 2 years later, the tree was 21 and 1/8 inches tall. How much did the tree grow in 2 years? So we know we're going to subtract. Well, what lets me know I'm going to subtract this period? Number one, I'm looking at these two numbers here, and these, the fractions are getting smaller. The whole number is. And this is where it is now. It is 21 and 1/8. And this is where it was when it was first planted 2 years ago. Now be careful with them. You have to look at the fraction. Is this 1 bigger than that 3? It is not. So I'm going to have to borrow or decompose. So the 21 becomes 20. And I need to move that one whole that I just borrowed. Now I need to bring it over here. And so my denominator is 8. So my one whole is 8/8. So when the numerator and denominator is the same number, it equals one whole. So we just traded one whole here for one whole here. We broke the whole number down to a fraction. The same way you would break down $1 for quarters and change. Okay? So I'm going to add that 1/8 plus 8/8 give you 9/8. And now I'm ready to subtract. 9/8 minus 3/8 gives me 6/8. And 20 minus 14 gives me 6. And I tell students, rather than trying to do all this, put 14 in your head and count up to 20. 14 in your head, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And that gives us 6 and 6/8. And there is our answer right there. Okay? So that's how we would solve that one. The next one says, Wendy filled a bucket with vegetables for her garden. The vegetables weighed 7,000 kilograms. She sold 4,200. I don't know why he's jumping down. She sold 4,200 grams of vegetables. How much did the remaining vegetables weigh? Okay? So the vegetables weighed 7,000. And it says she sold 4,200 grams of the vegetables. How much did she have remaining? How much did she have left? Well, this is obvious it's not division, okay? Even though it has left, so that leaves us what with our subtraction? Because remember, we're never going to subtract smaller numbers, and these are in the thousands, okay? 0, 0. I cannot take 2 from 0, so I decompose the 7, it becomes 6. And now over here we have 10 hundredths. 10 minus 2 is 8. 6 minus 4 is 2. 2,800 grams. That's how much remaining she has. You can always check to make sure you're right by adding these two. 0, 0, that's 10. 7. When you get that top number back, that's how you know your subtraction is correct. So make sure that when it's up here, pause it. Have your scholar work it out. Once they have the answer, then play it and see if they get what I have. If they get stuck, then you can play it as well. Fourth grade students were surveyed about their favorite pizza topping. This graph shows the results. So here's the favorite pizza toppings. This is the number of students. Cheese, pizza, pepperoni, sausage, mushroom. How many more fourth graders chose pepperoni and sausage than they chose the other toppings? So I will have the students do this on their graph paper. They will put like C, P, S, and M, and actually write those numbers out since this will be on their computer screen. So I know it's 25 cheese, 35 pepperoni, 15 sausage, 10 mushroom. Okay, so how many fourth graders chose pepperoni or sausage? So let me see how many pepperoni and sausage that I have. So they're here. So that's 35 and 15. Looks like 50 to me. So 50 people chose the pepperoni and the sausage. Okay? Then the other toppings, there are two other toppings. There's cheese and there's mushroom. So let me add up. It's 25 to 8 cheese, 10 mushroom. So that's 35 people that chose something other than sausage and pepperoni. So I'm going to subtract to find my answer. 50 minus 35. Can't take 5 from there. 15. So 15 more chose pepperoni and sausage than they did the other toppings. But make sure you identify what those other ones were. How many more fourth graders chose those two toppings than the rest of it? Let me get to this one here. This one says rays PQ and PR, two rays form an angle, are perpendicular. That means they're 90-degree angles. We also know it's 90-degree angle because it has a box here. This is also an indicator that there's a right angle, 90 degrees. Perpendicular, I'll say as well that it's 90 degrees. Okay? So we know this shape here, this angle here is 90 degrees. Okay? We need to find the value of x. So the angle right here is 20. And we need to figure out what this is. Okay, what this part right here is. Now we still know that it's perpendicular, it's a right angle. So the total is 90 degrees. Okay, so the total is 90 degrees. We're just trying to figure out what this part is. So if this part is 20, the total is 90, then what must it be? 70 degrees. Okay, let's also look at it another way. So we know right angle is 90 degrees, perpendicular is 90 degrees. We know it's not this because this is obtuse. That's bigger than the right. Okay? And we're looking at this right here. This is more than half of the circle, so we know it can't be 40 because half of 90 is 45. So we know this great big angle here is no way that's going to be 40. Okay? And then you can just add, 80 and 20. That's 100. That's too big. That would be an obtuse angle. Okay? So just some more reasoning. And I'm going to do one more. shape. Okay, let's look at 21. Let's look at another one with angles. So RVU is a straight line that equals 180. We know that. And TVU, so TVU has a measure of 40 degrees. So right here is 40 degrees. We know this right here is what? 90, because we talked about it. They have that box. That's its way of telling us that is a right angle. So we know this right here is a right angle. Okay? And just this right here is 40 degrees. Okay? And we know this here will give us what? 90 degrees. So the total here is 90. And we're trying to figure out what is SBT. We're trying to figure this out right here. So what do? We know 90 is our total. We already have 40 degrees of that 90. So that means this right here is 50 degrees. Okay? So that is some good practice for the students. Just a few problems to go over. Also, parents, if you notice that they were missing a particular one yesterday, just change the numbers. Change the name and the numbers. That's what I do. And I give it to them and see if they can navigate through it. Again, if they can reason through it again. So I think this is enough. This is roughly 10 problems that we went over. I don't want to overwhelm them with just keep going over things. Just some reminders that kind of refreshing their memory with things, okay? I do want to say we had a lot of sleepyheads in fourth grade on today for that reading test. Please make sure they go to bed at a good time on tonight. They have their clothes out and ready. We only had one tardy, but the student made it here before we started, which was good. But please try and have everybody here by 7:45. That way they can come in and we have breakfast if they want it. Hopefully they'll eat at home, and then if they want something else, they can get, whatever we have at school. But this one was a very smooth transition. Everyone kind of came in early. I could ease everybody's mind or any anxiety that they have. So the earlier they come in, where they're not rushing to come, and not be taught, I think it will serve them well to do that. Scholars, I know you're going to do wonderful tomorrow. Just continue to motivate yourself. As I say, you have to minister to yourself. And I think with everything that we've learned, just put it all out on paper. Don't rush through nothing. Work through, find your answers, and think it through. And I think we're going to have a great result at the end. So thank you, parents, for getting them here today, and make sure they go to bed a little early tonight. We had some